The Boys and Girls Club of the Fox Valley making plans for its STEM and workforce readiness programs after receiving a major anonymous donation. It comes as the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics expects that STEM-related jobs to grow 8% over the next 9 years. That is 3 times the expected growth for all other careers. Maria Parmigiani learns what kind of impact this donation will have.
My primary feeling was one of gratitude. The work that our team does is really hard and also really rewarding, but we can't do it alone.
The donation was anonymous for their STEM and workforce readiness initiatives to be given in total over the next 3 years.
We received a really amazing, wonderful, generous contribution of $1.4 million from an anonymous donor, an anonymous family in the community.
For Greg Lemke-Rochon, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Fox Valley, this donation will help provide valuable skills for children to explore no matter their economic background.
It will help over 4,000 kids that we serve through our clubs here in Neenah, in Appleton, and in Menasha, engage in some really important programs and services.
This money will be used at the standalone locations in those areas. Lemke-Rochon beams while speaking about how this will provide the tools and teachers necessary to help all children succeed, including underrepresented groups.
One of the very exciting components of this is the opportunity to enhance some of our summer programming, in this case specifically by developing a summer STEM camp for many of the young girls that we serve in our clubs.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of the Fox Valley serves more than 16,000 kids each year. The organization says it's excited at the opportunity to enhance and enrich the lives of more young people. Maria Parmigiani, Action 2 News.